What if the biggest Caitlin Clark controversy right now has almost nothing to do with what happened on the basketball court? Because one short sideline reaction from Stephanie White was enough to send Fever fans into another meltdown. And once you see why people are angry, it becomes clear this isn't just about one missed shot. It's about a relationship that has been under a microscope all season. A coach whose every reaction is being analyzed.
Does it change the way you coach the game? Do you ever notice that third quarter, fourth quarter? Does it ever impact the way you coach?
The fans?
Just the atmosphere, the voice that you have to project, any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Seriously,
I think the only time it really does is sometimes in timeouts. Really making sure that we get
you hear one of your players.
And a superstar whose every interaction somehow becomes a league-wide debate. And here's the part that makes this even more interesting. Caitlin Clark herself has already pushed back against the idea that she and Stephanie White have some secret feud. So why do fans keep seeing one? That's where this story gets complicated. The moment started innocently enough. Clark had the ball.
It's being mentioned in a letter from members of Congress to the commissioner of the league. How do you handle that?
Again, that's not something we can control. We're not affiliated with those groups, and we try to keep the main thing, and focus on the things that we can.
The defense closed in, and she tried to attack the basket. The shot didn't fall. Nothing unusual there. Every WNBA superstar misses shots. But cameras caught Stephanie White on the sideline reacting in a way that immediately caught people's attention.
She intentionally seeked out the official.
You were backwards to them. Did you even know they were there in that moment?
And through the forearm. That too.
Did you know they were there?
No.
Did they give you
really bad.
a different explanation of any kind?
No, that's what I was told. That's what I was told. Yeah.
What was your tech for the argument?
My tech was for saying that, even though I heard the F-bomb the whole game. We get
attention instead of the classic clap, encouragement, or quick instruction that fans might expect from a coach. After a difficult possession, White's body language looked frustrated. Her hands dropped toward the floor, and almost instantly, clips started circulating online. Then the interpretations began. Some fans thought White was simply frustrated with the play. Others believed she was mocking Clark's attempt. And once that second interpretation took off, there was almost no stopping it. That's the problem with viral sports clips. You get
tight, and we get in there and making sure that we can project that. I mean, look, when they're on the other end, they act like they don't hear me anyway. Like, I'm used to that. So I was a player too. I did the same thing. No, I mean, I do think, I think that you got to have some signals. You got to have some awareness in dead ball situations of looking over if we're going to try to make some adjustments.
10 seconds of footage, but the internet fills in the other 50 minutes. Nobody watching that clip can automatically know what was going through White's mind. Maybe she was frustrated with the possession. Maybe she was signaling something to the players. Maybe she simply reacted instinctively. Or maybe she really was annoyed with Clark in that moment. The footage doesn't give us enough.
During the game, Caitlin got honored as the WNBA Player of the Year in the ESPYs. Just what does it mean to have her impact so far? I mean, there are a lot of really good players in this league, and she got honored as the best player in the league by the ESPYs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she continues to get new awards. She continues to break barriers. She continues to do things that we haven't seen before. I mean, obviously you think about the Stewie's MVPs of the league, and championship winners, and Asia's MVPs of the league and championship winners, and of course Sue Bird, who was sitting in the building today, and Caitlin is so
defense
information to prove which explanation is correct. But that uncertainty is exactly what makes the clip so powerful. Fans weren't watching it in isolation. They were watching it after months of intense attention surrounding the Fever, Clark, White, and practically every interaction between them. And that's when the old footage came back. Because this isn't the first time. Cameras have caught Clark and White having an intense exchange. Earlier this season, during Indiana's loss to Portland, another short clip exploded across social media. White appeared to be giving Clark forceful instructions during a timeout. Clark responded visibly, and eventually rookie guard Raven Johnson checked into the game. To people who already believed there was tension between the two.
Yes, sir. Push it. Sophie with the lay. Oh, shoot. Bruh. Uh-oh. Oh. Wow. She ain't like that at all. Bro, I need to see a replay, but that was a hard foul. All right.
Across the face, coming down,
Across the face. Oh, shoot. What? That's almost a clothesline in the air. She didn't come close to hit.
Going to work, y'all. Never.
Indiana has been rolling.
Because this narcissist over here will not get out of their own way.
Clark thought about it. Get closed out by Quinn.
Listen, I love when the fans boo Stephanie White because I've been telling y'all since the beginning of the season. When it comes to coaching,
It looked like confirmation. The narrative practically wrote itself. The superstar doesn't respect the coach. The coach is frustrated with the superstar. And the Fever have a problem brewing behind the scenes. What if one tiny reaction from a WNBA coach was enough to convince thousands of fans that something much bigger was happening behind the scenes? Caitlin Clark drives to the basket. The defense closes in, the shot doesn't fall. And on the Indiana sideline, Stephanie White makes a gesture that instantly sends social media into overdrive. To some fans, it looked like frustration. To others, it looked like White was mocking her own superstar. And within hours,
I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup, and so I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck.
clip wasn't just a missed shot anymore. It had become another chapter in the never-ending Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White debate. But here's where this story gets interesting. The footage doesn't actually tell us what White was thinking, and Caitlin Clark herself has repeatedly pushed back against the idea that she and her coach are secretly at war. So why does every interaction between these two keep turning into a controversy? The clip itself is incredibly simple. Clark gets the ball, attacks, and tries to finish through the defense.
Especially for the MVP, Caitlin Clark, the face of the league, she's trash. We all see the biases with Stephanie White. When those fans booed, the fans did the right thing. Don't stop there. Because when you do stuff like that and then you stop, what you accomplished only lasts for a game or two. And then
The attempt doesn't go in. On the sideline, White reacts with her hands dropping toward the floor. That's it. No screaming match. No player walking off the court. No microphone catching some explosive argument. Just a few seconds of body language. But in the social media era, a few seconds can become an entire storyline. Fans immediately started slowing the clip down, zooming in, and debating what White's reaction meant. Some believed she was simply
My take was for saying that, like, that's a bad call. That's a bad call. Incidental contact when you're flying out of control, like on it. And I thought her teammates should have come up and talked to her about that as well. Like, I think that's really bad. That happens all the time in the game. Officials have to have some awareness in those moments, and it didn't happen.
I presume you plan to appeal that one.
Yes, it's already appealed.
frustrated with the possession. Others believed the gesture showed disappointment with Clark, and some took it even further, arguing that White was openly mocking her franchise player. But there's a problem with that last interpretation. Nobody watching the clip can know White's intention for certain. Body language can tell you someone is frustrated, surprised, or animated, but it doesn't automatically.
Fortunate, as well as all these guys, really. I mean, that they don't know anything any different than the WNBA, right? Like they've seen their idols play. They work their asses off to get to where they are and to be able to be honored, whether it's the ESPYs or whether it's league awards or whether it's All-Star or whatever. I just think they continue to then lead the way for the other young players that
hand her ball.
Reveal why. That's an important distinction, especially when the person involved is Caitlin Clark. Every facial expression around Clark gets analyzed differently because the Fever aren't operating like an ordinary basketball team anymore. They're one of the most watched teams in the league, and Clark is one of the biggest stars in women's sports. When a coach reacts to her, cameras are already looking. When Clark reacts to her coach, cameras are looking even harder.
That's 100%. That could have been a way worse situation. Like, look at that. Come on now. Look at her leg. Like, she could have really got hurt. Yeah. Sophie wasn't thinking about fighting. Like, let's be real. She wasn't really finna fight. She wasn't making that. She wasn't finna make that move.
Has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 2.
Yep. I'm like, if this ain't a flagrant 2, why is she looking sharp? Why is she looking sharp?
And this is where the history between Clark and White becomes important. Because fans didn't suddenly invent the idea of tension from this one clip. There had already been another viral moment earlier in the season. During Indiana's loss to Portland, White and Clark had an intense exchange on the bench. The footage spread rapidly because Clark appeared frustrated while White continued talking to her. From the outside, it looked like the kind of
Health and wellness, our player safety is always a top priority for me. One of the things I pride myself on is my relationships with players. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Soapy's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over on replay, you can see that. I didn't have that in real time.
Confrontation that could easily become a coach versus superstar story. Fans began asking whether White was losing patience with Clark, whether Clark was ignoring her coach, and whether there was something happening. The strangest thing about the Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White story is that the more people search for proof of a feud, the more complicated the evidence becomes. One viral clip makes it look like Clark and White can't stand each other. Then Clark publicly defends White.
Really good job of finding a way. Okay, really good job of finding a way. We started to expand that fist and then we came back together. All right, that was really good stuff. Now we know we got a lot of stuff we got to work on, right? We know that. But being able to come away and withstand what we withstood in that run and to be able to pull together, get some key stops, shot C. Oh, hell yeah. Great pass, though. It wasn't pretty. Okay, it wasn't pretty. We still got room.
Another controversy makes it look like White doesn't protect her players. Then White comes back with an emotional statement insisting that she absolutely does. And just when it feels like the story is finally settled, another sideline moment sends everyone right back to the beginning. That's what makes coaching Caitlin Clark so.
Clark thought about it. Good closeout by Coulier. 5 seconds. Clark driving, blocked by Coulier.
Different. Normal coaching decisions disappear all the time. A coach pulls a player from the game, nobody notices. A coach gets frustrated after a missed shot, nobody posts it. A player disagrees with an instruction, it stays inside the gym.
The hate, the fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win. It won't win. We are united. We are connected.
But when that player is Caitlin Clark, everything changes. The cameras are already waiting for the next moment. Fans are already watching for tension. And social media is ready to turn a few seconds into a headline. So when White reacts strongly after a Clark miss, people don't see just a coach reacting to a missed shot. They see the entire history of the Fever. They see the Portland confrontation.
We will not be divided. Every day these women put their on the line. Every day. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
They remember the debates about Clark's playing time and coaching decisions. They remember the officiating controversies. They remember Cunningham's flagrant 2. And suddenly one gesture becomes evidence in a case that fans have already decided exists. But here's what makes that dangerous. Confirmation bias works both ways. If you believe White dislikes Clark, every frustrated reaction looks like proof. If you believe White is a great coach who is unfairly attacked, every Clark reaction becomes proof that the criticism is exaggerated. Both sides can watch the exact same video and walk away completely convinced that they saw something different. And that is exactly why Clark's own words matter so much. She has repeatedly pushed back against the idea that every disagreement with White represents some deeper problem. When the earlier bench confrontation went viral, Clark didn't turn it into a personal
Bro, did
attack.
y'all see this
She didn't
last night?
publicly undermine her
Did
coach.
y'all see-
She
Boy,
essentially
this was
said that people were reading
hilarious
too
last
much
night.
into a
So
competitive
this is,
moment.
look at this picture
That
right
doesn't mean
here. Look at this
fans
picture
have
right
to
here.
agree with
This
every
is-
coaching
this
decision.
is Stephanie
It means the
White.
simplest explanation may actually be the
Stephanie
least dramatic
White
one.
was, boy, I
Clark
tell you,
and White
Caitlin
sometimes
Clark probably
disagree
drives
because they're
Stephanie
both
White
intensely
up the
competitive.
wall, boy.
And honestly,
So this
that's
is
not
Stephanie
unusual.
White.
Coaches challenge stars.
I saw this
Stars
last
challenge
night. I thought it
coaches.
was
Players get